Decisions impact not just numbers, but it actually impacts lives, culture, and reputation. And being a good HR professional, you should be approachable in terms of humans because that's your department, that's your job. मेरे एक मेंटर कहा करते थे कि एचआर जो है उसका रोल जो है वो घर के अंदर जैसे मदर का रोल होता है, मदर फिगर का जो रोल होता है वो रोल है। आपके अंदर जुनून भी होना चाहिए और धीरज भी होनी चाहिए। इसका ब्लेंड अगर आप कर सकते हो देन दैट पर्सन विल बी अ गुड एचआर लीडर। Decisions impact not just numbers, but it actually impacts lives, culture, and reputation.
हेलो, नमस्ते, वेलकम, सुस्वागतम, जय हिंद। स्वागत है आपका आज के इस एक्सपर्ट टॉक शो एपिसोड नंबर 159 में। एंड दिस विल बी इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक। वी विल हैव आवर गेस्ट Dhandeep Rajyaguru, who will be speaking on inner leadership and wisdom focus. But before that, don't forget to subscribe our channel Vipul the Wonderful, and press the bell icon to get the regular updates. And do share this session with your friends and family and network also. And it's time to invite our guest of the day. So let us welcome our guest Dandeep on the show. Hi Dandeep.
Hello, Vipul. How are you?
I'm fine, absolutely. Good evening. How are you?
All is well.
Thank you for accepting our invitation and joining on this expert talk show. Would love to have insights and inputs from you and your real life experience.
So it's mutual. I want to congratulate you and your entire team of Post Resume, fantastic consultancy organization, and Vipul the Wonderful, the whole team who is into background, who is into, doing a lot of things to make this podcast happen. And I really want to congratulate you to completing 158 successful podcast episode of All
Thank
Experts
you so much.
session. And I'm pretty sure that, you people are doing a very wonderful job to spread the knowledge and the wisdom around the globe in terms of leadership, management, and all other subjects, which is
Thank
moving
you so
forward
much.
to the society.
Thank you so much. Your motivation, this kind of words and appreciations makes our day and keeps us motivating, and that's why this journey is going on. And by the way, congratulations for your new book launch. We'll surely get to know about your book in detail in the session, in the next questions and sessions. So before we start the session, can you briefly introduce yourself in your professional journey over the last 15 years?
Correct. So, Dhandeep Rajyaguru is basically not a name of human anymore. He comes as a stardust, and that stardust is actually going towards a wisdom or maybe humanity journey a day forward, a day ahead every day. So since 1988, this stardust named as a Dhandeep Rajyaguru, I completed my education in terms of MBA in HR field, and then I started my career towards manufacturing segment. And overall, today I can mark upon around 15 years of fantastic global exposure in terms of HR, in terms of business process, in terms of HR analysis, or in terms of strategical think tank of the company. So I can see my journey from raising up like a phoenix from the ground. I started my journey, and I leap over day by day. I leap over year on year. I met a fantastic people like you in the journey who actually coach me, guide me, mentor me, make me understand what is right, what is wrong, and what could be the right and what could be the wrong. So all positive and negative experiences blend, makes me learn a real life motive, which is actually to develop yourself to support each other. So I can say that it's a 15 years of blend of professional journey as an HR professional. But apart from it, I am into photography, I am into writing, I am into reading. So that's the reason one of my 7 years exposure in terms of writing actually born as a 10 inner forces of leadership. So that is a kind of gift from passion, or my hobby towards my profession. So that's what me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I must say, learning is mutual. We all are learning from each other, and that's the mutual, and that's a continuous journey, I must say. So that's amazing. So, moving on to the sessions, let's start with the very first questions. So, what initially drove you toward the leadership, people, and organizational development?
So ideally, from the beginning itself, I love to talk to the people. And being a good HR professional, you should be approachable in terms of humans because that's your department, that's your job. So I love to talk to people. I love to be in the part of training. I used to, design training. I used to become a training professional. But moving towards the journey of HR is a blend of, or I can say it's a complete portfolio of lot many things together. So that actually incites me towards making me understand how these entire big business houses or how entirely a big leadership ball games are running, how people are driving a giant organization like big 4 or big 10, how the fortune 500s are working upon and making miracles around the globe. So those actually instincts, or you can say interest me towards thinking something ahead.
What are some defining moments in your career that shaped your leadership philosophy?
I can say there are a lot of, but in 2018, I can say that I passed through a very tremendous, I can say a negative karma line, which actually stops me doing everything and put me ahead, or I can say put me aside, and which strikes me out like what am I doing and what exactly I need to do. So that idea actually triggered me again go back to the roots, and again I go back to the Sanatan system. I learned something more towards it, and I pull out something just a kind of from Samudra Manthan. You are churning something out which can help not only you but for the whole world. So I was thinking like if I'm suffering in terms of anything, then there could be crores of people like me who can be in a similar kind of situation, and how can I do something to bring them out. So that thing, I can say one of the largest spectrum I can see in my career or in my lifespan till date.
Difficulty makes you a perfect man. It gives you a new horizon, new direction to lead the life. So that's true. What
True.
you could say about that. So, at what point did Vedic wisdom become part of your leadership thinking?
I can say, Vipul, Vedic wisdom was always been part of my life, or you can say per se. But the thing is that the kind of transformation or which it actually drives me through, it starts from 2018, I can say, when I got a huge setback in terms of certain physical karma line, and I was almost gone towards something else, and again I repaired, I come back, which actually the Vedic wisdom, or I can say the Sanatan system taught me very well. It's beyond religion, it's beyond anything which comes as a borderline or which comes as a social ecosystem what as a human we define. This is something more than 1 lakh years back. So ideally, what was there when there was no human society, there was no human civilization, still there was something which is running this planet. So those things actually, I go back to learn, and I pull out something as a simplified ideas, or you can say a system which can support any sort of professional, whether being in leadership, being in a managerial role, being in a team leader, being in an administration system, being in an organizational culture part, how that thing a person can instincts or cultivate to become the right leader or to become the right civilian, so that if you are good, then the whole world is good. So that idea I actually revolutionized.
How did your experience in HR and business strategy deepen your understanding of people? बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली बोलते हैं कि एचआर, रोल ऑफ एचआर इज टू डील विद ह्यूमंस, लोगों को समझना, लोगों के साथ डील करना और उनके साथ में रहकर रहना, उनको साथ में लेके चलना। दैट इज द रोल ऑफ एचआर। सो कैसे आपने उसको सक्सेसफुली अचीव किया?
सो विपुल, मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि जब मैंने करियर की शुरुआत की थी, तब मेरे एक मेंटर कहा करते थे कि एचआर जो है, उसका रोल जो है वो घर के अंदर जैसे मदर का रोल होता है, मदर फिगर का जो रोल होता है, वो
ट्रू।
रोल है। जिसमें ना कभी कोई छुट्टी है, ना कभी कोई अप्रिसिएशन है, ना कभी कोई चीज़ है, लेकिन फिर भी वो ही एक ऐसा विंडो है कि जहाँ पे फैमिली के हर सदस्य पहुँचते हैं, अगर उनको कुछ प्रॉब्लम है तो। उनको
थैंकलेस।
सबका टेस्ट पता होता है, सबका टाइमलाइन्स पता होता है, किसको कौन से टाइम पे क्या चाहिए, किसका मूड कैसा है, किसको क्या सर्व करना है, किसको क्या कब देना है। तो मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि अगर हम अपने ही फैमिली में इस रोल को अगर सही तरीके से अंडरस्टैंड करें, और दूसरा ये है कि उसको इम्बाइब करें, तो मेरे ख्याल से कोई भी बंदा एचआर फील्ड के अंदर चमत्कार कर सकता है। तो आपने जो क्वेश्चन किया कि इस जर्नी के अंदर किस तरीके से ये इवोल्यूशन मेरे साथ जुड़ा रहा, सो द थिंग इज दैट कि यही एक एग्जाम्पल ने, यही एक चीज ने मुझे हमेशा जोड़े रखा। इसके साथ साथ मैंने एक चीज और सीखी इसी एग्जाम्पल के थ्रू, कि अगर आप माँ के पास जाओ, या घर के अंदर जो ऐसा फीमेल फिगर है जो ये पूरी चीज कंट्रोल करता है, अगर उसके पास जाओ, तो उसके अंदर आपको करुणा मिलेगी, ममता मिलेगी। अगर आप, कितना भी बड़ा कोई झगड़ा हो गया है या कोई डिस्टरबेंसेस आ गए, लेकिन वो जो इंसान है वो हमेशा अपने दिमाग को कूल रख के चीजों को सुलटाने पे फोकस करता है। भले
ट्रू।
चाहे कितना ही बड़ा फंक्शन हो आपके घर के अंदर, और या फिर मान लो फंक्शन नहीं है, लेकिन फंक्शन जैसा माहौल क्रिएट करना है, तो वो वही कर सकता है। तो उससे मैंने एक चीज सीखी, पैशंस। आपके अंदर जुनून भी होना चाहिए और धीरज भी होनी चाहिए। इसका ब्लेंड अगर आप कर सकते हो, देन दैट पर्सन विल बी ए गुड एचआर लीडर। सो दैट इज ऑल्सो वेरी रिक्वायर्ड। सेकंड, यू मस्ट बी अप्रोचेबल। घर के अंदर देखना, अगर आपको पैसे चाहिए या पॉकेट मनी चाहिए, तो पापा के पास जाने में सब डरते हैं, लेकिन मम्मी को कोई बताने से डरता नहीं है
ट्रू।
कि मम्मी पैसे चाहिए, कुछ भी करो, कुछ एडजस्ट करो। सो वहां से एक और चीज मैंने सीखी कि एचआर मस्ट बी अप्रोचेबल। वो ऐसा होना चाहिए कि यार कोई भी लेवल का बंदा हो, खुल के आपके साथ बात कर पाए। तीसरी चीज है नेटवर्किंग एंड नेटवर्क अप्रोच। आप देखना कि घर के अंदर अगर कोई रिस चढ़ा के बैठा है, या उसको ऐसा लग रहा है कि भाई ऐसे इसका मूड ठीक नहीं है, तो आप देखना माँ के उसको मना भी लेगी, और माँ को पता भी लग जाता है इसके साथ हुआ क्या और इसको रिपेयर कैसे करना है। सो दैट इज ऑल्सो द रोल ऑफ एचआर। आपको समझ में आना चाहिए कि मिड मैनेजमेंट क्या कह रहा है, टॉपर मैनेजमेंट क्या कह रहा है, डाउन मैनेजमेंट कैसे रिएक्ट करेगा। तो बिट्स ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जिसको बोलते हैं ना, वो एचआर है। उसको पता होना चाहिए, उसको पता लगना चाहिए, लेकिन वो पता लगेगा कैसे? जब आप ग्राउंड से ऊपर जाओगे तब पता लगेगा। तो वो एक आर्ट है, वो एक स्किल है, और वो जनरेट करनी पड़ती है, हर एक के अंदर होता है। लेकिन जैसे ही मैंने बताया कि एक प्रोफेशन ऐसा है कि इसको इम्बाइब करना पड़ता है। जितना इम्बाइब करोगे उतना ही आपको क्योंकि ये एक ऐसा ओशियन है जिसकी कोई लिमिट नहीं है।
ट्रू।
आप जितने ही नीचे जाओगे आपको लगेगा कि अभी मैं सरफेस पे ही हूँ।
ट्रू।
तो ये प्रोफेशन आपको ये सिखाता है कि आप लाइफ लॉन्ग है ना बच्चे बन के रहो, रोज कुछ ना कुछ सीखो, रोज कुछ ना कुछ आपको नया सीखने को मिलेगा, नया जानो। इसलिए देखो एचआर का फील्ड में ऐसा होता भी है कि लोग सुबह जाते हैं ना, पीपल आर कंप्लेनिंग मेरा टाइम ही खत्म हो जाता है, लेकिन मेरा काम ही खत्म नहीं हो रहा है। टिकट्स से टिकट्स आती ही जा रही है। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू टॉक अबाउट इंश्योरेंस इंडस्ट्री, वहाँ के एचआर का पूरा सिनेरियो अलग है। इफ यू टॉक अबाउट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री, वहाँ पर सिनेरियो अलग है। इफ यू टॉक अबाउट एफएमसीजी, वहाँ पे सिनेरियो अलग है। वेदर द फंक्शन विल रिमेन सेम। तो यहाँ पे माँ का रोल अगेन आ जाता है। एक घर के अंदर जो माँ का रोल है, वो दूसरे घर के अंदर जो माँ है उसका रोल बदल जाता है, बिकॉज वहाँ के एक्सपेक्टेशन अलग है। कहीं खाने पे फोकस होता है, कहीं कपड़े पे फोकस होता है, कहीं फंक्शन पे फोकस होता है, कहीं अटैचमेंट पे फोकस होता है। सो दिस इज हाउ यू नो an HR person needs to be open with their ideas, with their eyes, with their ears, with their everything. So this is how I purview, or I can say I perceive the
Well,
thing
well
goes.
explained. So tell us something more about your book.
Thank you, Vipul. So, this is my first written book, which actually borns in the month of February 26. इस बुक को तकरीबन 20 से 25 हज़ार पन्ने के आसपास रिसर्च करके कंपाइल किया गया है। तो इन शॉर्ट मैं आपको सिंपल वे में बताऊं कि अगर आपको 25 हज़ार पन्ने नहीं पढ़ने तो आप मेरे 144 पन्ने पढ़ लो, आपको पूरा ज्ञान या पूरा
Wow,
आइडिया आ सकता है।
wow,
सेकंड थिंग इज दैट कि ये जो बुक है इसके अंदर देवी भागवत और देवी भागवतम के रेफरेंस से महापराम्बिका या शक्ति के 10 महान स्वरूप दिखाए गए हैं जो यूनिवर्सल है, जिन्होंने कभी जन्म नहीं लिया है।
wow.
सो अल्टीमेटली इट्स एन सिंबल ऑफ एनर्जी, एंड नाउ दोस एनर्जीज आर ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल इन एनी ह्यूमन फॉर्म। वो ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल ही होता है, जैसे ही वो जन्म लेता है उसके अंदर है।
True.
तो वो जो 10 फॉर्म है वो क्या सिग्निफाई कर रहे हैं, और उस 10 फॉर्म से लीडरशिप मैनेजमेंट या आपके लाइफ में वो क्या चेंजेस ला सकते हैं, इसके ऊपर ये पूरा का पूरा सेंटर ऑफ सब्जेक्ट ध्यान में रख के इस किताब को लिखा गया है। अदर देन दिस इसके अंदर स्टीफन कवे, रॉबिन शर्मा, रोंडा बैन जैसे बहुत सारे मैनेजमेंट या फिर ऑथर्स, राइटर्स, वर्ल्ड के रिनोन्ड लोगों ने जितने भी स्क्रिप्चर्स लिखे हैं उसको ध्यान में रख के भी इसका ब्लेंड बनाया गया है। तो हर एक चैप्टर के अंदर इट्स नॉट ओनली वैदिक बट इट्स अ ब्लेंड ऑफ वैदिक प्लस मैनेजमेंट। इसके ब्लेंड के साथ जो अपर रेसिपी डाली गई है, जैसे बोलते हैं ना चेरी ऑन द केक, तो वो भी डाला गया है कि जिसके अंदर मैंने कुछ ऐसे केस स्टडीज भी डाला है कि हो सकता है कि शायद मेरे करियर में मेरे साथ हुए हो या मैंने सुने हो या मैंने एक्सपीरियंस किए हो, या फिर ऐसे वर्ल्ड के बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट केस स्टडीज डाले गए हैं कि जहाँ पे लोगों को आई ओपनिंग लेवल पे वो चीज समझने को आए कि हाँ यार इस तरीके का केस हुआ, दिस इज रिलेटेबल रिलेटेबल टू मी, तो इसमें मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, इसके बाद किसने क्या किया। तो वो जो चीज है वो भी इसमें डाली गई है। और ये पर्टिकुलर एक चैप्टर जब इस तरीके से कंपाइल होता है तो वो आपको सिखा के किया जा रहा है, वो भी इसमें डाला गया है।
Wow.
तो मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि अगर कोई इस किताब को पढ़े तो मेरे हिसाब से उसको 99% तो किसी के पास जाने की शायद जरूरत ही ना पड़े, क्योंकि उसके
Wow.
सारे प्रॉब्लम, सारे क्वेश्चन के आंसर इन अ वे इसके अंदर डाले ही गए। फर्क सिर्फ इतना है कि वो अब कितनी अवेयरनेस और अटेंशन से उस चीज को पढ़ता है या समझता है, वो उस इंसान के ऊपर है।
Definitely, definitely. So, wishing you the great success, and we'll surely put the link of your book in the our podcast description, so audience can definitely check and buy it from the Amazon. So,
थैंक यू।
let's move on to the very the core of the question of our session, which is about the inner leadership. So, how do you define conscious or inner leadership in simple terms?
सो बेसिकली लीडरशिप इज समथिंग जिसको हम ऐसा मान सकते हैं कि टू लीड समथिंग दैट इज लीडरशिप। लेकिन जो कॉन्शियस लीडरशिप है यहाँ पे चीज बदल जाती है। सो आई कैन थिंक लाइक इन सिंपल टर्म्स, कॉन्शियस और इनर लीडरशिप means leading yourself before leading others. It's the ability to observe your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. And then the person is act from clarity rather than reaction. Inner leadership is not about titles or positions. It's about awareness, alignment, and responsibility. When leaders are internally aligned, their decisions become calmer, their communication becomes authentic, and their impact becomes sustainable. Conscious leadership is where self awareness meets accountability and purpose meets performance. So, this is how I consider this.
Why is inner clarity becoming more important for leaders today than ever before? पहले तो मतलब ऐसा
Good.
ये सारी
Yep.
टर्मिनोलॉजीज पहले इतनी बोलते हैं ना कि यूज नहीं होती थी, अभी क्यों ऐसा एक्सपेक्ट किया जाता है फ्रॉम लीडर्स
So,
पर्सपेक्टिव?
today's leaders are operating in constant uncertainty, people. And what I understood is that means, rapid changes, Emotional workplaces, generational shift, and high performance pressures are there around the industry. External control no longer works now. So, inner clarity helps leaders respond instead of react. When leaders lack inner clarity, stress drives decisions, ego drives behavior, and fear drives culture. So, inner clarity allows leaders to remain centered even when outcomes are uncertain. It builds trust, resilience, and long term thinking, qualities that modern organizations desperately need but cannot mandate through policies. So that is what I this is take from my end, like inner clarity is important just because of all this.
Ultimately, what matters is the decision making, right time पे right decision लेना. That matters for the senior level professionals. So ये inner
Correct.
leadership का influence क्या होता है decision making में and कैसे help कर सकता है?
So at all levels, especially we are talking about senior levels or maybe decision making levels, decisions impact not just numbers, but it actually impacts lives, culture, and reputation, maybe of the organization, of the people. So inner leadership creates a pause between stimulus and response. This is very important. आपको पता होना चाहिए कि मुझे कहाँ pause लेना है और कब respond करना है, कब react करना है. So that pause is powerful. It allows leaders to separate emotion from judgment, ambition from responsibility, and urgency from importance. So, leaders with inner leadership take decisions rooted in values, long term vision, and collective good rather than short term pressure. So, this leads to fewer impulsive decisions, higher ethical standards, and stronger organizational trust. So, as you said correctly earlier, this is more about understanding consciously the difference between stimulus and response.
Power of pauses, you rightly said, that creates wonders. So like, when you take you and you know how to take pauses, then you can communicate very efficiently, very effectively. So अभी बात करके करते हैं 10 का दम की. So which are the 10 factors of inner leadership? Can you please brief that in detail?
Sure. So I can say that let people will buy the book and understand the das who all are das Mahavidya and what they actually teaching us in terms of that 144 pages of my book. But for this question to make the curiosity and little bit ahead of the answer, I can say that this book is a framework that translates ancient Vedic wisdom, specifically the symbolism of the Das Mahavidya, into modern leadership capabilities. Each force represents an inner power, such as clarity, courage, restraint, transformation, or compassion. So, together, these 10 forces help leaders master their inner world so they can lead the outer world effectively. This book is not spiritual theory, as I said earlier. It's a leadership operating system for conscious, people centric, and high impact leadership.
Great, perfect. I'm sure ki people would love to buy your book and to know these 10 forces. So, how do you practically apply Vedic wisdom in modern organizations?
This is a need of the hour question. So thank you, Vipul, for bringing this up. And I can say that this is very important people to understand also. So practically, Vedic wisdom shows up as self-awareness practices, ethical decision frameworks, and mindful leadership behaviors, and people first thinking. So it's not about rituals, it's about reflection, balance, and responsibility. For example, before taking any major decisions, leaders are encouraged to reflect on intent, impact, and alignment. In team settings, it means listening deeply, responding consciously, and fostering psychological safety. Vedic wisdom becomes practical when it enhances clarity, compassion, and consistency in leadership actions. So, this is how I practically apply Vedic wisdom in modern organizations.
What are the most common leadership challenges you see in organizations today?
So, what I understood is nowadays it is more about uh, there is a difference between I need control to I need clarity. So, the most powerful mindset shift is moving from I need control to I need clarity. Control creates compliance, clarity creates commitment. When leaders focus on clarity of purpose, intent, and expectations, people take ownership by default. This single shift transforms leadership from authority based to influence based. So, this is how I take it.
Well explained. So there is a too much pressure of performance in any organization. So
True.
how can leaders handle this stress, conflict, and uncertainty without losing the performance focus?
Correct. So, what I understood is people centric culture and performances are not opposites, they are multipliers basically. And we need to understand this. So, when people feel respected, heard, trusted, productivity automatically increases. So, leaders must shift from managing outputs to enabling outcomes. Clear goals, psychological safety, accountability, and recognition can coexist. So, conscious leaders understand that results are a byproduct of culture. You don't drive people harder, you align them better so that they can perform the way you want.
Very true. So it's like leading a team and achieving the entire organization's goal.
Correct.
So how can HR evolve from an operational role to a strategic and transformational one?
Nowadays, what I can understood is HR is becoming more about not the operational part. It is more about a catalyst, or I can say, walking along with the business itself. And as I said, how the HR ecosystem of the company is driving the entire culture, skill sets, and the organizational engagement. These three parameters, I can say that from my opinion side, that are the key drivers for any good organization to view off. So I think HR, the entire industrial revolution is evolving. Nowadays we are into industry 4.0, and maybe moving forward now AI ML, or maybe robots are going to be part of our ecosystem. So that will be industry 5.0. So what I understood is the entire industry is evolving, and the whole world is evolving, so HR does. So but these are the key areas which really triggers that, and any HR professional needs to understand that.
True, we need to be ready for the AI revolution and Industry 5.0. So that's the future, you rightly say. What role do values and ethics play in long-term organizational success?
I can say it's not depends on the title for the person to get. but it is more about the reward a person should get from their own people. So if you are approachable, if you are understanding your people, if you are understanding the organizational diversity and the cultural skill set, then I believe, those will be the again key factors to moving forward, chasing the ladders in the company.
True. And how can leaders build people centric cultures while still driving the results? Because at the end of the day what matters is results. तो रिजल्ट तो दिखाना ही है, बट एक कल्चर भी बिल्ड करना है, तो वो दोनों को बैलेंस कैसे किया जाए?
So, as I said earlier, people centric culture and performances are not opposite. Generally, what happened is most of the industries are considering, or maybe they are away to understand this. People centric culture and performance are always multiplier. So, you need to blend it, and the HR needs to understand this part. So when people feel, as I say, respected, heard, and trusted, then productivity automatically increases. And if there is a clear goals or psychological safety, accountability, good working culture is there, and recognition part is exist, then conscious leaders understand that results are a byproduct of culture. So there is a difference between leaders will, or one type is leaders are understanding that whether the people will work towards it or not, but conscious leaders understand that results are a byproduct of culture.
Very true. Results and are the byproduct of the culture, you rightly say. So माइंडसेट शिफ्ट की हम बात करते हैं. सॉरी, लेट मी रिपीट दैट अगेन. माइंडसेट शिफ्ट की बात करते हैं. सो लीडर्स माइंडसेट शिफ्ट को कैसे एडॉप्ट कर सकते हैं इमीडिएटली, सो दैट रिजल्ट्स अचीव हो सके?
म- मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि देर आर थ्री टाइप्स ऑफ सीज, विच इज competency, consistency, and caring. And this three thing is actually helping any good leader to understand mindset shift. Competent Competencies, then consistency, and then caring towards your people, caring towards the culture of your company, caring towards the policies or the system that they build over. So this is actually caring towards a person who is doing something, as in I need control, this is in my control, I am going to do this and this will be like this. And then there is another shift through this, which is called as I need clarity instead of control. So this means that when leaders focus on clarity of what? Clarity of purpose. I need to do this, or organization needs to do this. Why? So that is very important. Understanding why and making someone understanding that why. Then second is intent and expectations. Then what will happen is people will take ownership, so that is called as accountability measures. This type of single shift transforms leadership from authority based to influence based culture.
Very true. Your It's been said na ki your why should be bigger than your how, then rest will follow. So if your why is clear, then rest all will follow. True, true. So what simple daily practices can help leaders build self mastery and inner balance?
Correct. So, on a lighter note, I can say that, for that thing, people should read my book.
Yeah, of course. But yeah,
But, okay. But apart from that, what I can say is, nowadays there are a lot of conflict or burnout or ethical dilemmas or decision fatigues are common. So basically, people should understand or follow some sort of framework which can lead with clarity rather than control, and responsibility rather than ego. So that's when leadership shifted for me and for anyone from managing people to understanding human consciousness. So this is in simple term I can take on this.
Great. So, what inspired you to write a book?
That's a good one. So I was writing since, because basically I'm an art student, and through literature, I cultivated the taste of writing. I used to write journals, I used to write experiences, I used to write since last, I can say, since I was in class 10 in 2003. I was starting, I can say, disciplinary writing comes in picture. So that thing actually helps me in a lot many way. Writing actually, it's a good stress buster. Writing gives you another wings to fly. Writing gives you another ideas. Writing gives you sometime lot many problems to solve. So those things actually, parallelly walking with me. Journal writing is always with me. It actually gives me a lot of good thing. And wherein, as I said, in 2018 I was passing through something very bad. It strikes me that, hey Dhandeep, you need to do something for this humanity, so that, the people like you, or maybe, the people who may be suffering or having a question, to get the answer, at least do something, you know one step ahead. So that actually strikes me to, go back to the, again, reading, referring, research and all. And I put something into 144 pages, which already came out in February 26, as a 10 inner forces of conscious leadership.
Wow, that's great. So, what is your advice for our uh, young professionals starting their leadership journey?
I can say start with self leadership, that, our young professionals need to understand. Skills will get you noticed, but character will sustain you. So build awareness of your thoughts, emotions, and values early. Learn to listen before reacting, reflect before deciding, and serve before leading. Leadership is not about reaching the top, it's about raising your inner standards. If you master your inner world early, the outer success will follow naturally. सो इसमें मुझे वही एक डायलॉग याद आता है जो थ्री इडियट्स मूवी में आमिर खान बोलते हैं कि सक्सेस के पीछे मत भागो.
True, sir. And in a layman's की लैंग्वेज में बोले तो सैलरी के पीछे मत भागो. Go for the right career, and money will be the byproduct at the end of the day. So,
Exactly.
well said, well said. So, what is your final message for our audience? Your golden words, your success mantra for our audience.
ऑडियंस के लिए मैं यही कहना चाहूंगा कि किसी भी चीज को एक्शन में लाने के लिए अगर आप वेट करके बैठे हो तो मत बैठो, आप उसको एक्शन में ले आओ. एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपको पॉडकास्ट करना है तो आप विपुल से इंस्पायर होकर पॉडकास्ट शुरू कर दो. अगर आप बैठे रहोगे तो पॉडकास्ट नहीं होने वाला है. अगर आप चाहते हो कि मुझे बुक लिखनी है धनदीप की तरह, आप प्लीज लिखना शुरू कर दो. चीजें अपने आप समट सुलटनी और समेटनी शुरू हो जाएगी. अगर
Agreed.
आप कुछ भी चीज करना चाहते हो, बस आप कदम उठाना शुरू करो, यूनिवर्स आपको सपोर्ट करेगा ही करेगा. तो ये एक मैसेज था. दूसरा मैसेज मैं ये देना चाहूंगा कि ट्राई टू एडप्ट चेंज. हमारे आसपास बहुत सारा चेंज अभी आ रहा है. एआई आ रहा है, एमआई आ रहा है, एमएल आ रहा है, टेक्नोलॉजीज आ रही है. जितना उससे दूर भागोगे, वो उतना ही बड़ा होकर आपके पीछे आएगा. तो आपको उसको चेज करना है. दैट मीन्स कि हमें हमारे मिलेनियल्स या नई जो जनरेशन आई है, जनरेशन जेड, पता नहीं अल्फा बीटा हम क्या क्या कहते हैं, उनसे देखो कि वो कितना इवॉल्व हो रहे हैं, कितना सीख रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं. उनके साथ एडप्ट होना शुरू करो, तो आपको जिंदगी जीने का मजा आएगा. लेकिन जितना आप डिफ्रेंशिएट करोगे वो उतना ही कॉम्प्लिकेट होता जाएगा. और तीसरा जो मैं मैसेज देना चाहूंगा वो ये है कि लाइफ बहुत सिंपल है. हम उसको कॉम्प्लिकेट कर रहे हैं।
True.
तो अगर आप उसको सिंपल रखोगे, वो आपके साथ सिंपल रहेगी। लेकिन अगर आपने उसको कॉम्प्लिकेट कर दिया और फिर आप अगर ये सोचो कि यार लाइफ कॉम्प्लिकेट होगी, ये मैं क्या करूं, लाइफ सिंपल है ही नहीं, तो वो कभी नहीं होगी। सो दिस इज सिंपल मैसेज फ्रॉम माय एंड।
Well said. Kal kare so aaj kar, and live in the presence and take it easy. So that was amazing, amazing. Loved it. Dandeep, this was amazing session, and we are wishing you many more कि एक के बाद ऐसी आपकी वन आफ्टर अनदर आपकी ऐसी बुक्स आप पब्लिश करते रहो, एंड आप ऐसे ही लोगों की लाइफ को एनरिच करते रहो. ऐसी बेस्ट विशेस, एंड wishing you the best. We'll be in touch and would like to see you again on our podcast with another topic. So, since you are into HR, so stories and experiences is a part of your journey. So, would love to see you again. Thank you so much, Dandeep, and see you on the other side.
Thank you, Vipul, for this opportunity. And I'm looking forward that all success this 159th episode also get.
Thank you so much. Yes, friends, I'm sure आज का सेशन काफ़ी अच्छा रहा होगा. You would have enjoyed it. एंड बस ऐसे ही जुड़े रहिए हमसे. हम इंडस्ट्री एक्सपर्ट्स को ऐसे ही बुलाते रहेंगे. They will come and share their real life experience. So don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get our regular updates. और ये सेशन को और इसके पहले के भी जो सेशंस हैं, डू शेयर इट विथ योर फ्रेंड्स एंड फैमिली एंड नेटवर्क. यू नेवर नो कौन सा सेशन किनको हेल्पफुल हो सकता है. सो बस ऐसे ही हम आपसे जुड़े रहेंगे. दिस सेशन वाज पावर्ड बाय पोस्ट रेज्यूमे. सो चेक आवर वेबसाइट and connect with us if you're looking for any help, any support, any guidance. We would be happy to help you. If you are looking for the best talent solutions for your organizations, then do connect with us. We'll be happy to help you. So, with that note, see you next time. Stay blessed, keep smiling. Thank you so much.